Welcome to Becoming Saiyans.
A Dragon Ball rewatch podcast.
And we're back. I'm Truman.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is Becoming Saiyans, a Dragon Ball rewatch podcast. On today's episode, we watched episodes 79 and 80, titled The Terror and Plague and Goku vs. the Sky Dragon. Terror and Plague first aired in Japan on September 16th, 1987, and in America on November 28th, 2002. Whereas Goku vs. Sky Dragon aired on September 23rd, 1987 in Japan, and November 29th, 2002. Getting into some facts and some trivia, the differences from the manga is the entire events of this episode for the first episode were exclusive to the anime. And then in trivia, near the beginning of this episode, Chaos tries to persuade, Chow tries to persuade a tiger thief who's dressed very similar to the bear thief, but as a tiger. Another tiger thief makes an appearance in another episode where he tries to stop Goku from doing some stuff in that episode. They may or may not have been the same character. They're both voiced by the same actor. The black-haired mustachioed villager is very commonly used character design throughout this series. First of all, he was Sano's father, which we both pointed out when we were watching this. Yeah. The village elder is also a common model. He was used as Sherman priest and the Jingle village chief. When rain begins, a man resembling Grandpa Gohan but with a blue hat can be seen. Both terror and plague, as well as the gourd of mist they use to terrorize the village, are likely based on the two Demon King brothers from the Chinese classic Journey to the West. Great King Kako and Great King Ginkako. I probably did not pronounce either of those right, but we're going to move on. And the Crimson Gourd they possess. The Crimson Gourd is one of the 5 treasured tools they have, and it has the ability to suck their opponents in and melt them once they're trapped within. The villains of the episode are rechristened as Terror and Plague respectively in the Funimation dub, as most American audiences would not be familiar with their namesakes as far as Journey to the West. In the Blue Water dub, they by contrast calls them Gold and Silver, alluding to their inspiration, but leaving out the horn section of their name. Terror and Plague are brothers, according to the Japanese version, but in the English dubs, they make no reference to this. That said, the Blue Water dub had them played by brother actors, Adam Hunter and Brendan Hunter, respectively, which I think is a cool little nod to the whole thing. The path that Goku and Chow pass through is called the Road of Dreams in the original version. Funimation dub left it unnamed, whereas the Blue Water dub calls it the Dream Avenue. The liquid inside the gourd in the Japanese version is not a potion that Terror and Plague gain power from. It's just ordinary sake they drink for pleasure. The change was made to avoid referencing alcohol. And the Blue Water dub did not use the potion angle, but they did change the contents of the gourd to juice. That was a lot of trivia for that first episode. Jumping into the second episode, Goku vs. Sky Dragon. Where is it? The differences from the manga, all exclusive to the anime this episode was. In trivia, Shokin has a similar hairstyle to a young character that we see later on, and has a voice very similar to the kid version of another kid we see later on. The old woman who directs Goku to that town is identical to Grandma Pazuzu, which is the one that she met during Oolong, or one he met during Oolong the Terrible. They're both voiced by the same actress named Stephanie Nadolny in the Funimation dub, who also voices young Goku. The man in the crowd watching Master Chin fight Rising Dragon is wearing Yamcha's original costume. Goku's tail regenerates in this episode and will remain until it changes, which I also noticed. I was like, when did the tail come back?
I didn't take much of a notice on it. I just was like, yeah, there's his tail.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just my own memory for getting oh yeah, his tail got popped off 30 minutes ago, in episode time.
The last piece of trivia is about, I'm thinking a movie because I don't remember this at all, but saying that Sky Dragon makes a cameo, and I'm assuming this is a movie later down the line in Dragon Ball Z. but only in the English dub. Where in the original Japanese version, there's a separate character named Kanfun appears instead of the Sky Dragon, which I think that's kind of fun. They just reuse the character model. Probably did a flashback and they go back to this time or whatever. Yeah, probably that would be my guess. I haven't seen the movies famously, so. But that's all the trivia we have. So previously on Dragon Ball, Goku is learning from his new mentor, Life. And what that means is he's going around places to place and spending an episode doing some stuff. In the first episode, he stumbles across a girl named Chow about to be chowed on by a tiger. But stops that from happening, and then she tells him about these two guys that are, terrorizing and plaguing their town, named aptly Terror and Plague. Goku shows up, starts to fight them, gets sucked into a gourd, but then they stupidly let him out, and then he beats them up. Into the story. Moving on to the next episode, Goku is still just kind of wandering around doing his own thing before he ran into a lady and says, "Hey lady, do you know if there's any strong people nearby?" And she says, "Yeah, down in the city there's some strong people named Chen." So Goku wanders into the city and learns about this whole feud going on between these two warring martial arts dojos, the Dragon Clan and the Chen's group. And Goku decides to join Chen's side, fights the Sky Dragon in a fight, like a martial arts tournament style setting, one-on-one, wins and goes about his business, while also having to let out some business, if you know what I mean. And that's what you missed on Dragon Ball. Jesse, go for it.
These are pretty fun. I mean, these are fun episodes. As we were discussing off mic, I almost said off camera, but off mic, as we're setting everything up, there's not a whole lot to these episodes in learning that they're all anime. At least these two.
I wrote a note that said these just feel like they're fully exclusive. Like on the first episode, like this feels like a fully exclusive episode.
Like you kind of get that feel from it. It feels like they didn't want to immediately jump to the tournament because obviously I think the part where we have like a couple years and Goku just runs off and do his own thing is like a part of the manga as well. It feels like that's a line straight out of the manga, but the manga just time skips it to the tournament, and then you get some weird flashbacks here or there, like some references to stuff where it's like, well, we don't really want to do that, so let's put in I'm going to assume the next 5 episodes are the next 3 episodes, obviously these 2 episodes
after these 2
are just a lot of one-off. Here's something that Goku does to learn a lesson or learn a thing. Which he does. He learns some lessons in the first episode here, and he learns a thing in the second episode, and some lessons.
I also told Jesse between both episodes, after we finished the first episode and after we finished the second episode, that these are my favorite types of Dragon Ball shows. Like, I love the end of the world threat of destruction as much as the next person. It gets hype, and there are hype moments, But
there is that soft spot of just seeing Goku being
Goku,
not, you can't really say seeing Goku being normal,
but seeing Goku being Goku,
but just seeing him be a himself.
Person, and then having to deal with all this other stuff in the universe. Honestly, it's just one of those things that I just enjoy a ton out of these shows. Like, I love it in Z. There's parts in Z where there's just episodes that are just like this. Like, there are episodes where, Goku goes to get his driver's license in Z. And it's like, does that matter in the grand scheme of, fighting the end of the world terrors? No, but is it fun to watch Goku get his driver's license because he never had to drive because he can just at that point can just fly around or teleport or whatever. Yeah, it's real fun to watch that. It's the same as in this. It's is this necessary? Not at all.
On a technicality,
not at all.
Is not.
It's not at all. This episode, these 2 episodes, probably the next 3 episodes, not necessary at all. But they're fun as all get out because it is just what's Goku up to? Oh, what does a kid do when he's been told by his master, hey, just go walk around and learn? And he's like, well, I guess I'll just walk around and beat stuff up.
It reminds me of there's a TikTok account that I follow that's what's happening in the shrimp tank today.
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of it's just a couple episodes just like that where it's something there was one video they posted, it was it's animating the shrimp tank having the Titanic happen.
Yeah.
Or for the April Fool's joke yesterday because we're recording this day after April Fool's. They posted what's happening in the ant farm today. And it's like raindrop was started coming down. It was like a war zone.
Yeah.
It was like just fun stuff. It's like a bunch of episodes like that.
Yeah. And I, again, not to like belittle these episodes because like I love these types of episodes in this show, but like my negative on these is the same as my positive, is that like they are wholly unnecessary. You don't have to watch these episodes. You can just jump the next 5 episodes to when the tournament starts.
But that would not be us doing the justice of watching the entire series.
But we are going to watch the entire series, and for me, the positive is, you don't have to watch these episodes, but that's why they're so fun.
These are I feel like this is a really nice palate cleanser, like couple of episodes in between, like, you know, the life or death. We just brought someone back to life.
Yeah.
Like,
and now we're going to decompress and let Goku just like that's what these episodes do, because every time it pops up in the other, and like in Z, the driver's lessons episode happens right after something crazy happens in the episodes, you know, and it's like, well, now we're going to take a minute and have Goku go get his driver's license. Now we're going to take a minute and have another character like become like a superhero because he's with an alter ego, you know, like he's trying to keep the whole city safe, but like while being like a super saiyan.
And
you know?
then like when we're done doing this, we have a couple weeks off of just like relaxing, having fun. Then we can move on to the next world-ending threat.
Yeah.
Or in our case, and what's coming up after these episodes, move into the next World Martial Arts Tournament arc.
Yeah, and that's what these episodes are. These episodes, as far as like, are they required viewing? Not at all. But are they necessary? Yes, because if it was just, this has been a thing in comics, and I can point to like, if everything is the biggest thing ever, and then the next thing is the biggest thing ever, and everything has to one up the next thing to be the new biggest thing ever. Eventually, you're literally just like, it loses the effect of the biggest thing ever, because like, if everything is the end of the multiverse and the end of the world and the universe is at stake every single day, at one point you're just like, just freaking blow up the universe. I don't care. Like, I can't handle this stress.
It's the same thing that kind of happens with like in real life and stuff. Where it's like, it's super easy to burn out your audience if it's just like, oh man, the stakes are super high, and that's something that I feel some newer media has a trouble with. Yeah. And especially in the streaming area, where it's like, well, you think you can get around that because, well, we only release a season every two years or whatever. Yeah. Like, look, I'm not trying to dog on Stranger Things because I haven't personally watched it. Yeah. But like, I'm in the pop culture around it. I have seen how annoying it is that like, it was a series purpose built, like, we're going to film it and all these kids are all going to be high schoolers the entire time, and then it took them so long that it's like, they're technically college age, but they gotta like not be that 100%.
Yeah, and I mean the biggest thing is it's like the death of the 22 episode show on TV just leads to the fact that you don't have episodes. Like, some of my favorite episodes of How I Met Your Mother, just to throw in a different show, are the silly one-off episodes that don't really move the plot at all. Like Barney and Ted getting a bar doesn't like move the plot along. Like they don't actually get a bar, but they like take over the bar for New Year's Eve or whatever. They get like one day to own a bar, and it's like, this is a fun episode, but does it have anything to do with the wide range of the show? Absolutely not, you know. But that's like, those kinds of episodes are important every once in a while, because otherwise it like people are like, oh, you're just like filling for time because you got given a bunch of episodes and you got to fill. And it's like, I mean, I guess, but like a lot of it's also just like you have a lot of time, so you get to like flesh out these characters more. Yeah, you get to flesh out like Goku some more. You get to flesh out the world, even though these people probably are never going to show up again, except for, I guess, Sky Dragon shows up in a movie like way down the line apparently. But like, these guys aren't going to show up a whole lot. It's not like we're going to flash back to this town and either of these towns and see like what's going on in their day-to-day life. But they're important episodes because Goku is like, it shows the passage of time. Because if this didn't happen, we would have ended the last 2 episodes with bringing back Bora, and then immediately the first episode of these 2 is like, oh, and by the way, like 2 years have passed or whatever, and now Goku's like ready to fight in the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Yeah.
And you just get through it too fast if you do it that way.
Your brain's like, I just dealt with.
Yeah, we just dealt with
This.
like a tournament style, episodes like where he's having to fight 5 otherworldly beings, and we just had him meet his grandpa again
And revive
a person, and now 2 years have passed, but we didn't feel like any time passed because it's been 2 seconds for us.
Yeah.
So
this is a great way to like show the time passing, show a little bit of what Goku's escapades seem to be like in these next couple of 2 or 2 years, I guess it was.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years,
2 or 3 years, whatever it is.
I like
and this happens.
The reason I like these so much is that it does just really show the passage of time. Like you can think of this as like this was the second day after he left, and then the third day, or you can think it's been a month and then 3 months to the next one. You know.
Yeah.
And in between that, he's just doing other things like this, just kind of hanging out.
He's just living. He's out living off the land.
He's just traveling from place to. He's just traveling, and then he stumbles across a problem, and he fixes it, and then he goes on his way. Like both episodes start with him wandering into a situation, being like, "Whoa, this is a weird situation. Let me help out." And then the end of the episode is him being like, "See you guys. I hope you fixed your problems."
And like it also like I know kind of where the series ends up like going and like Z and stuff, where he's like a not just in like international hero, but like a universal hero. And it's just like setting up those little droplets of like, oh, we gotta help, oh, Goku's gonna save the world. I remember when Goku saved my village. I remember when Goku helped my dad like beat his arch rival and like stop him from dying and stuff. Like it's these little tidbits where you're just planting these pins on a map where people are like, I know this Goku kid, I know this Goku guy, and it kind of helps with that. Like if you're trying to link it to the overarching plot, it helps get you closer to that type of stuff.
Yeah. But after this long explanation on our opinions of this episode,
of these episodes, a type of an episode format, especially.
We should jump into these episodes.
Yeah.
And my first note is all these guys look like the same villagers in the art. That was my first note.
These are just assets.
These are all just reskinned versions of the Arctic. Instead of wearing Arctic, they're wearing farmer clothes.
I guess the defense you have for themselves for the animated stuff is. These episodes don't matter. These are filler episodes, you don't need them to be unique.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to see them for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. And that really is it, is they just were like, let's just grab some characters that are been in the background and just throw them on. This is the village now. All these characters from other places.
Let's get generic villager 1 through 50 and just throw them in there.
Yeah.
It's just figure it out. The only ones we need to be unique is Goku whenever he's punching.
And Chow. Chow's pretty unique. In the Tiger in the first episode. Which I guess is whoever he's punching.
Yeah, it's in that category. It's literally the person recruiting Goku, and whoever Goku is punching are the only ones that are going to be unique in this episode.
Yeah. Because, especially...
And the MacGuffin.
Yeah. Especially, because they even said in the trivia that, the tiger is just, the bear warrior. But, as a tiger, they just took the same, outfit.
Just reskinned it.
Yeah, they literally just fully reskinned. Which is, it's funny to know that, they just were I don't know, tiger.
It saves on budget and time to just do that. When you're making episodes like this, no one cares.
Yeah,
it's funny to point out, but at the end of the day, if this is going to cause you to stop watching a show, did you really like the show in the first place?
Yeah,
exactly. Did you really care?
I mean, you can think about it, even go back to the first arc of the first saga, where it's the Pilaf saga. This is the same format as that, where every episode they would stumble into a new situation and have to get the Dragon Ball. But in this one, there's just not a Dragon Ball.
There's not a Dragon Ball. There's just a problem that Goku solves.
Yeah, but in those episodes, it's always in the first saga, it was Goku walks into a village and stumbles across a problem, but he also finds out that the Dragon Ball's there, and he's there for the Dragon Ball, but he finds a problem, he beats up the problem, and then he gets the Dragon Ball.
And then because he beat up the problem, that just happens to be what he needed to do to get the Dragon Ball. So
yeah, exactly.
It's either he needed to do that to get the Dragon Ball because the problem had the Dragon Ball, or he finishes the problem, and then the reward ends up just being the Dragon Ball.
Exactly, and that's the same as this, just minus the Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
He stumbles into a situation, but also like without the radar, so it's not like he's tracking stuff. He's just wandering around, and he's like, "Oh, this is a problem. Let me help." And,
He's straight up just a hermit.
yeah.
He's the Goku. He's the monkey hermit. The turtle hermit.
Yeah. My next note was like, what a bully about the tiger. Like, tiger's just, he's like, oh, you're gonna give me some money? I'll take the money, and I'll also, and then I'm gonna eat you. It's like, what the heck, man?
It's like you've done like 90% of what Goku wants to punch people for.
Yeah. And then also, always we gotta bring this up. Every time there's a young girl, Goku gets them blushing and collects them like infinity stones. Because the first thing he does is save the girl, and immediately, as he catches her, blush, just fully like rosy cheeks. Like, they just covered it. It was like bright red on her Rudolph cheeks, you know?
It's just what Goku does. He might not know that they like him, but boy, is he good at getting them to like him.
Yeah. He collects these girls like infinity stones.
Yeah, and then you learn about the villagers needing to feed them food, and
before that, Goku was saying, I hope they have lamb chops, and then like, let's get the lamb chops over here.
Hey, put the lamb chops next to the rice cakes.
Just the jump cut was great because it's literally like Goku like, oh, I can have whatever I want. I hope they have lamb chops. Get the lamb chops over there. Go, go, go.
It was very funny.
But and then my next note. But yeah, we meet the villagers. We learn what's going on. They got these two guys who are messing up their town.
They're causing plague and terror.
Yeah, which
their names are also plague and terror.
We also find out that they literally are causing plague.
That's what I said. They're causing plague and terror. They also have to be named plague and terror.
Yeah. But like the thing is, like at first you think it's just like metaphorical, like they're just calling them plague and terror because they're plaguing the town and causing a lot of terror. Yeah. But like no, literally, like the moment they're defeated, it rains, and it's like they were holding the rain back, you know. But
I was gonna point that out when we got there. But yeah, it's like it is funny, like the one for one where like as soon as they're captured and like under control, like the drought ends. It's like maybe something was happening. Maybe there's like some sort of energy they were giving off that was like stopping it.
My next note was that these guys look like they're fully from another anime. It looks like they're from like they look like they're from what's the name of the freaking anime? I can never think of it. But they look like they're from another like 80s anime. They just rolled up from like out of a different video.
Yeah, they're from The Outsiders.
Yeah, they were in another studio next door, and they were just like, "Hey, send us two of your guys. We need them for this episode." It's a crossover event, you know.
It's like the
Cowboy Bebop. That's
Cowboy Bebop's a good one. I was thinking. I just recently watched it. Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
It's like the very end scene of that, but it's just they just happen to be there instead of like all fighting through the studio.
Yeah.
I know. Spoiler alert! If you ever watched Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. But they just totally look like they're from another anime. And that finding out that I kind of like got the general gist because I know about the gourd myth from the the Japanese and Chinese mythology and stuff. You know, like I knew generally about that. I find that to be great because that means we're still showing like the roots of Goku because Goku is from that. Like he's based loosely off of that general, off of Sun Wukong from Journey to the West. You know, and these guys being from that too. Loosely based, obviously, loosely based.
Their MacGuffin is from that.
Yeah, and their characters are like their characterization is generally similar to that. You know.
Yeah.
We might have to, if we ever do make a Patreon, might have to do a Journey to the West read and like review, like because like it's something I've always been intrigued upon, and like knowing how influential it is, like even on these filler episodes, it's influential. You know.
It's there's so much stuff out there that like you don't know how influential it is because a lot of times like in modern day people get ideas from stuff that was influenced by something that was influenced by the original thing that was written or created in like the 1300s.
Yeah.
And because it's gone through so many different iterations, you don't even realize you're influenced by that until someday you might find like a YouTube video or like like TikTok, or you're scrolling online and someone's talking about this thing. You're like, oh my goodness, that's where it came from.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's great to actually like be able to pinpoint kind of where it happened. And there's a chance that we're talking about this, and we come to find out that Journey from the West was influenced by something else.
Yeah. Well, I know.
I know.
I'm pretty sure the story of it is loosely based on like the Chinese and Japanese mythology.
Yeah.
So like, and it was just like trying to make a story out of like a combined story of all the mythology.
Yeah.
So like, even that, that could go back millennia at that point when you're talking about mythology and religious based stuff.
Yeah.
The rest of my notes are basically just like, man, this weapon's OP. Man, these guys are idiots. Goku wins, yay. So just to go down like plot points.
We get a little piss joke in there.
Yeah, plot to plot points on these is number one. They show up. Plague and Terror show up to the village. They've been throwing a giant feast, but it's not as big as last time. And they're like, well, yeah, because we don't have as much food. And they're like, well, give us your food. And then they're like, well, we'll starve. And then while this is going on, Goku and Chao are running around, like running back to the village to be like, try to save the day. And Chao's like, I used to love running down this one road because it would be so beautiful with all the flowers and stuff. But since Plague and Terror show up, like the whole tree, we've been
in a drought and everything.
And Goku is mostly just along for the ride. Then he gets there and they're doing roll call. And we find out what happens with this gourd. If your name is said while the gourd is open and you don't respond fast enough with here, the gourd will swallow you up with mist and boil you in the bottom of the water, and you're gone forever.
Yeah, but basically, in the English dub, you become like a potion to be drunk. That gives them your life force strength.
Yeah.
Strength, as we noticed in the like factoids.
That's not exactly how it works
in the Japanese dub.
Yeah,
or the Japanese original. I don't know why I said Japanese dub.
Yeah, but
in the Japanese version.
Yeah,
they just become like
alcohol.
Sake.
Yeah, they become like alcohol. That might the taste. Yeah, the taste changes. But Goku won't stand for any people being mean to people, so he decides to fight them, kicks their butt, but then gets trapped because he doesn't know exactly how the gourd works. Nobody's really explained it at that point.
She explained it to him, I believe. But
Goku he was too busy in the moment to think about it.
Yeah, he was too focused on fighting, and then because he even says like when he's in there, he's like, "This must have happened because I didn't say my name. I didn't say here in time. I didn't respond in time."
Yeah, and so, but then Goku falls in there. But luckily, Goku has his powerful item, the power pole.
Has his power pole, which he just corks into the top, so he doesn't go into the bottom where you get churned into liquid.
Yeah. And then he, has to relieve himself, so he uses the restroom, and then at that point
he just so happens to use the restroom at the perfect time. The other dude's like, I bet he's been turned into liquid. And then he's like, he hears his piss sloshing that he doesn't know it's his piss.
Yeah.
And then he uncorks it. And we learn in there, if you haven't been turned up and they uncork it, you just come straight back out.
Yeah. And so Goku jumps out, kicks their butts again. This time doesn't let them have the gourd.
Actually, steals the gourd, and then starts playing like, I hope you can remember how many times I've said your name.
Yeah, and so it's like play territory, like just over and over and over.
It just gets them by them not saying it one time.
Yeah, and so then they get sucked in, but then they get released, and they now are working for the village to fix all the problems they had or whatever.
They're basically working off their debt to the village because they're bad people, but they're bad people that Goku has turned good.
Yeah. Good adjacent.
Yeah,
at least good as far as they're stuck in involuntary servitude.
I should say that Goku has begun to help serve justice too. I guess that's the better way to put it.
Yeah. And it rains, and as Goku leaves this village forever, he does see the flower, and he stops and says, "Wow, that's real nice," and then runs off. And then that's the end of the first episode, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good episode.
It was nice to see Goku have to handle another MacGuffin.
Yeah,
that he's never seen before.
That was one thing I put on here was that this weapon is OP as all get out.
Yeah,
if you don't know what you're dealing with, if you don't know what the weapon is, this is a top tier relic in this universe.
Yeah,
it's you could solve so many problems if you just swallowed the bad guy. And by
I know there's villains later on. I'm sure there might be like a limit to like how much power it can contain before it explodes.
Yeah.
But like it is funny to think like I know there's like one of the big bads like Beerus. It'd be really funny to just have Goku have that same Beerus. He goes into the gourd and then he just drinks them.
And then they're just gone forever. Right?
It's just like no more Beerus.
We solved the problem.
We solved it in half an episode.
I wipe my hands of this and leave.
It's just funny to think that, which is probably why the gourd never comes back.
Yeah.
I'm presuming it never comes back.
I
Because I can also tell you without even having to know, if it did come back, that means the village is no longer protected because they don't have the threat of the gourd to keep the guys from terrorizing them again.
Yeah.
Because they are stronger than anyone in that village, 100%.
Yeah. But that's it for that episode. We jump into the next episode. In media res is a way I would say of Goku just, doing handstand walks.
Handstand run.
Yeah.
On like his fingertips, I think is implied.
Yeah. And then we jump to an old woman. And that old woman is like washing her clothes, but she like lost one.
She lost a shirt.
Goku
grabs it.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, is this your shirt? And she's like, oh, thank you.
And then he has a conversation like, is there anything like you can point me to the nearest person that's strong that I could fight and get experience? And she's like, go to the city. And he's like, where's the city? And he's like, it's over there. Ask for Chin.
Yeah, and this is another one of those. Imagine like the normal people in the universe dealing with this, because like imagine you're this old lady, you're just washing your clothes, you're like, oh man, I lost a shirt again. And this is like
because she kind of does it like, another one got away.
Yeah. But then this child with a tail shows up, which I guess he grew the tail in between episodes.
Yeah,
that's how you can tell there's been some time passed between these two episodes. Is that like Goku grew a tail?
Yeah, because surely his tail's gonna be back for the tournament arc. So I guess this is like something I could just imagine.
And then he, you see this kid doing like handstand runs on one finger.
Well, technically, I don't think she saw that because I think he like
jumped off,
like he fell off. I think he like as he was doing it, he like slipped off the cliff and then ended up in the ravine. So he was above her, so she didn't see that part. So she didn't see that, so she didn't have that context.
Yeah, she sees this child fall into the water from way above and like grab her shirt and be like, "Hey, is this yours? Oh, by the way, I'm looking for tough people to fight. Do you know any tough people?" And then that's the rest of it. It's just every time there's like a normal person that interacts with Goku in like a weird way and sees some weird feat of strength, you always got to bring up. I wonder like how much this changed their life. Seeing this small child with a monkey tail fall off of a skyscraper amount of space, be completely unharmed and be like, hey, you got any tough people?
Also, here's your shirt back.
Here's your shirt. Anyways, see ya. Thank you for the information.
Thanks for the information. And then like he just like martial arts super fast jumps away into the distance. She's like, yeah, that's just that's a story she'll tell her grandkids like forever.
Yeah.
No one will ever believe her.
Yeah. I ran into a monkey child one day.
He was pretty cool. He just asked me for directions to the city.
Okay, Granny, let's get you back to bed.
Like it's like okay.
And then we jump to the village and we see that a small child whose name I immediately lost completely.
I meant to write it down. I completely forgot. It's like Sorlinka.
Yeah. But he is being accused by this giant guy called Rising Dragon. We find out later. Of stealing his wallet. I was going to go pull it up if that's what you're going to do. But of stealing his wallet. And he says, nope, we ain't going to... Like, I didn't steal your wallet. They get into a little bit of a fight. And his dad, Chin, steps in. And wins the fight.
Shokin,
that is it. Yeah, I see it now. We got there basically at the same time.
Yeah.
But Shokin is accused of stealing the wallet. His dad steps in. We find out that Shokin's a little bit headstrong. And also quite a bit bratty.
He's bratty and super overconfident.
Yeah. But Chin beats up the two main guys, but then he's like, as he's about to fight Rising Dragon, he like has a coughing fit. He's dealing with some health issues. We find out throughout the episode, and he's not as good as he once was, I guess is what I would say.
And at that exact time, Goku conveniently finds Rising Dragon's wallet lying on the ground.
Yeah. And so then Rising Dragon's like, oh, you must have stole my wallet. And Goku's like, no, you could have just dropped it. He's like, that's too easy of an explanation. Fight me. And so he tries to punch Goku, and obviously that doesn't work.
Goku after images and jumps above him.
Yeah.
As they're getting ready to go in, Sky Dragon shows up and is like, "Stop trying to fight people. Like, let's leave.
You've got your wallet back. Let's
Like,
go."
No one took your money.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here."
And then Sky Dragon says like, "I'm sorry," and Chin's like, "Apology accepted." And he's like, "I'm also gonna say sorry to you, you small child." Goku's like, "I don't know why you're saying sorry to me. You never even touched me.
He never did anything to me.
Yeah, he didn't do anything to me. He didn't even hurt me." And then I love the tail flowing in the wind that we see. Like, there's a scene once they get to Chin's place where Goku's like, "Okay, you're Chin, let's fight." And it does like the camera tilt move where it's behind Goku, so you're seeing through like a third person view of Goku, but like directly behind him, and the tail's just like flowing like almost like a like it's a dog tail wagging because he's excited type of thing. Of like, ooh, I get to fight somebody strong today. And then they both like they do like a jump in like the samurai style where they both like make contact and you don't know who like got hit, and then Chin like collapses with his with his illness. I hate that he's like dealing with this. This is like tough to watch. Like, you know, this guy obviously is cool because he literally takes on those two guys like it's nothing. But
like, this guy obviously is really strong, and he's just like
happens to have been unlucky.
He's got like TB or something, you know, like something.
Yeah, and then the Shokin says, "Well, you know, that's kind of how it goes. I guess I'm gonna have to, you know, we like, what'd you do to my dad, you meanie?" And then Goku offers to go get some medicine, so he goes to get medicine. He runs into Sky,
and he promises not to start a fight, because
Chin brings up the whole thing, which is also from the tournament saga the first time, where it's like, if you fight outside of the tournament, you're both going to get disqualified. So like, the king doesn't like it if there's a big scuffle before the fight, because it feels like you're taken away from the main event.
Just getting some cheap shots. And stuff.
And so Goku says, "Okay, I won't fight." And so he literally refuses to fight Rising Dragon. He just jumps out of the way. And then Rising Dragon says, "No one makes a fool out of me." And then immediately goes for like a major swing, flips over, and falls in the river.
And makes a fool out of himself.
Yeah. And then Sky Dragon kicks the crap out of Goku. But my interpretation on what happened there was that Goku was allowing that to happen. You know, like Goku was allowing him to get some punches in.
Because Goku was like, I
promise not to fight.
I can't fight, so I just have to, like, because he never threw a punch at Rising.
Yeah.
He just dodged Rising, and Rising, being a drunk brute, just fell into the river.
Yeah. And Sky Dragon, being more of his wits, just like beat the crap out of Goku.
Because Goku couldn't defend or fight for himself.
Goku like could recognize that Sky Dragon is much stronger than Rising Dragon, and also understand that like he can't. To get away from Sky Dragon unscathed, he's going to have to get into a fight, which breaks his promise. And Goku doesn't break promises, so he just takes the beating, and he's like, "Man, that guy was kind of fast, and that really did kind of hurt, you know."
But anyways, I got the medicine.
Yeah, and so he goes back, and then we like to give the medicine to Chin, trying to get Chin all working, but the medicine doesn't work. We find out, and it's just not going to be enough. So Goku offers to fight.
Yeah, Shokin, Chin's child, is like, "What? Let me fight in your stead, Dad." Like, "No, you'll die."
Yeah.
Without saying it, Chin's like, "No, you're good. You're
nowhere near strong enough." And
you would get one punch.
And then Goku's like, "I'll fight," and Chin's like, "Sold." And that really makes Shokin mad, because Shokin is like, "I am your son. I've been training with you for my entire life.
This man has been here for like at most
24 hours.
Yeah,
because at the absolute most 24 hours. Like, that's the maximum he's been in this villain.
More likely 12 to 16 hours. Like, he showed up yesterday, like afternoon, evening, slept the night here, and then went to go get went to go get medicine, then slept the night here, and then is waking up to eat this food or whatever.
And so then Shokin, getting very upset, decides to put some, I'm assuming, laxatives of some sort into
some sort of laxative, or
like some sort of poison, but not like a strong poison to kill, but like enough poison to like be an irritant.
Just something to make Goku sick.
Yeah.
Which, from the effects that we see,
it seems diarrhea based.
Yeah, it seems like turn the stomach upside down.
Yeah, and that's why I bring up like the laxative, is it feels like it's like a poop poop
it's
mover.
it's a poop thing.
Yeah. But before we get to the tournament, we jump
poop.
we jump to Sky Dragon, and we see that he has been playing martial arts on rookie mode because none of those people in that building have been pushing.
Well, we also learn before that like Sky Dragon. Once Chin started to take off with his business, Sky Dragon basically just intimidated every one of Chin's students to come to his dojo, and then that's where we pick up where like he's just bullying everyone in his dojo.
Yeah, and he's literally playing on easy mode. None of these guys.
He's like I won't even use my legs, and then like the next guy he fights, he like jumps super high in the air and just comes down and headbutts him and knocks him out in one hit.
He's not making himself stronger, and he's not helping make any of these guys stronger. He's literally just using them as his own punching bags.
Yeah.
Which is not the wise way to train, because if you're just training to get, like, if I, as an example, like if you're gonna go play soccer or a sport and you walk up and you play against some like toddlers, you're gonna look freaking amazing, but if you're not gonna get any better because you don't have to beat toddlers at soccer. Like it's the same, and I know it's a little different, but it's the same premise. Yeah, is that like he's not going to get any better by just like punking all of these kids. He needs like training and purpose and stuff, and that we also find out from Goku that like Goku, has an affinity for helping people who are not able to help themselves, but also like he also wants to help Chin's dojo, not just Chin like keep his honor, but about like get his dojo back on track. And so then we get into the tournament. Goku is fighting the Sky Dragon, but right as the fight starts, basically his stomach starts to rumble.
Goku gets the advantage for the first couple of swings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then his stomach starts to cramp up, and he's like, he tries to call a timeout, and everyone's like, boo, keep fighting, whatever. Yeah. And Shokun's like, man, I really thought he'd just give up when he got sick. And like, it's because you don't know Goku.
Goku tried to fight while hungry, his only weakness. Like,
Goku does not care.
Yeah. I wrote that Shokin is a brat, like often on throughout my notes here. I even called him a stupid brat at one point when it actually starts to like hit Goku. It's like, you idiot.
It's like the moment he starts to realize his mistake. It's the moment like right when Goku takes the advantage early on in the fight against Sky Dragon. He's like, oh no, I've doomed us.
And his dad is like, oh, are you okay, man?
He's like, you got something you want to confess?
Are you feeling guilty over there? You got some guilt you want to bring up? But anyways, Goku wins because he's Goku. The moral, like the happy conclusion of that episode is that Sky Dragon joins Chin's dojo to be trained.
Yeah, Sky Dragon benefits Goku. He's like, thank you, Goku, for stopping me from getting my vengeance. I don't know if I ever would have could have lived with myself if I had like done what I was going to do to him. Basically implying that like his plan was to publicly execute him on the fighting in the fighting ring.
It was quite messed up, but luckily Goku was there to stop it. And so as Goku leaves, Shokin gives him some jelly donuts, and that's the end of the episode. And we move on. So going into
I hope people get that reference. Like if you watch the episode, they're like rice cakes.
Yeah.
But we both grew up watching Pokemon.
Yeah, and they're called jelly donuts in Pokemon.
Because for every reason they didn't think that American kids in the 90s would have been like, what could have figured out what a rice cake was. And
they would look at it and be like, wow, that doesn't look good. Even if you didn't tell me it was a donut, I would have thought that would look yummy.
Yeah, like it's animated food. Like as long as you don't put like maggots on it, they're gonna think it's fine.
Yeah. So jumping in your predictions, Jesse, you said Goku goes to a new village with a person doing bad things. That does happen twice. But the person doing bad things is the Sky Dragon, and Goku wins. That happens once. And so I don't know how we do
what
the
about
predictions.
Plague and Terror? I think that's a Plague and Terror.
Yeah, the first one was that like there's a person in the village doing bad things. That was Plague and Terror. But you thought that these two episodes were going to be connected, like a two-parter. Yeah. So like when you were going through it, you thought these two episodes were going to connect, I guess, to be continued. So like the Plague and Terror was what Sky Dragon was doing, and then in the second episode, Goku beat Sky Dragon was what you thought was going to happen. Which is like, both of these on premise alone happened, but they did not happen in the way you intended for it to.
Technically, the prediction was wrong, but actually, the prediction was right. And that purely comes from my thought process of it had been a really long time since we'd seen just like this type of one-off story.
Yeah,
so I think even when like he finds Oolong, it's like a 2-episode.
No,
like
Oolong is just one episode.
But I can't remember.
I mean, Oolong continues for a couple episodes dealing with him.
Yeah.
But like the episode where they fight Oolong,
in the
is literally just one episode, and then he joins the party.
I guess that's where my confusion goes. Yeah. Oolong's like a really crappy person for like 5 to 10 episodes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say you got those predictions, even though they in the wording you got it, in the thought behind it you were a little off.
Yeah.
But then jumping into our next 3 episodes, because that's right, we got 3 episodes left until the end of this saga. So we are going to do a 3-parter, and the next 3 episodes are called Goku Goes to Demon Land, The Rampage of Ino Shikacho, and Which Way to Papaya Island. I think it's Papaya. It could be Papaya.
But
Papaya Island.
What's it spelled like?
Papaya. Papaya.
I think that's how the fruit is spelled.
Okay.
It's probably Papaya Island.
All right. So Goku Goes to Demon Land, The Rampage of Ino Shikacho, and Which Way to Papaya Island.
Okay. So, I mean, I think Demon Land's pretty obvious. Goku goes to Demon Land.
Goku is going to go to a Demon Land.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory on that one.
Yeah.
And then we've got... what was the other 2?
The Rampage of Ino Shikacho.
Yeah, obviously, Ino Shikacho rampages.
Ino Shikacho rampages. And then Which Way to Papaya Island, Jesse?
Maggie gets directions to Papaya Island.
You're like, I'm not getting burned again.
these episode names have been very on the nose. It's going to be funny. Is like he's not.
This is actually a 3-part mini saga where he like starts out going to Demon Land, has to fight the demon Ino Shikacho, and then at the end he's like, "How do I get out of here? How do I get to Papaya Island?
I didn't go to Papaya Island. That's where the tournament arc is."
Yeah, just the most the craziest thing to have happened there. So Jesse, let's get into it. Since we got the predictions out of the way for this next bit, what was your worst part?
Honestly, none of these parts like really sucked a whole lot. Yeah. I guess my worst part would just be like Shokin just constantly being an annoying brat the entire time.
Dang it, dude. Jesse, you took my part. That was gonna be mine. I was ready to throw that guy into the moon. Well, no, not into the moon. The moon's gone. Into the sun, I guess. I thought that was a little bit harsh, but I mean, he's going into the sun because there's no moon anymore.
Yeah.
That kid was bugging the crap out of me. I guess with that the fact that these are both anime exclusive and are completely skippable will have to be my worst part, but also it could also be my best part because it's my favorite type of episode. Completely skippable filler beach type episodes are some of my favorites.
Yeah. Like it's nice filler.
Yeah,
and that's why.
But I gotta throw a note out there for it, and there's nothing else in these episodes that harm me viscerally outside of Shokin, because screw that kid. I hope he never finds love. I hope he dies alone. I hope he never learns the errors of his ways, and is by the end of his life, he sees Chin at the end of his life, like coming down and says, "You disgraced me, son," and that's how he goes. That is my wish for Shokin.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't, but that's my wish. Anyways, Jesse, best part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Was drinking some water.
Yeah.
Best part has to be the way Goku. As much as
the pee joke.
It's the pee.
Okay.
The piss joke is really funny to me. Like that. Like as it's happening, I'm like, is Goku really gonna? Like as it was happening, I thought it was going like he was gonna like bottoms up and drank the piss, and then Goku was gonna escape.
Yeah.
But like the way it worked out, like that's actually really funny that like he gets out because you just happened to piss a lot in the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah.
Or the gourd, I guess I should say.
My best part is also the part that was my worst part. And it's that these episodes are completely skippable slice of life episodes, and I love them. I had to put it as the worst part because I couldn't think of anything else that was worse. This is also my best part, is that the framing of these episodes is just one random day in the Goku world. You know,
It's a very two-faced coin.
yeah. But that's kind of all we got for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys can, download, subscribe, rate, review, leave us a 5-star rating. We would love to hear from you guys, and where you can reach out to us is at becomingsaiyans@gmail.com, on our Twitter, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, and on our TikTok at becomingsaiyans_pod. And until next week, Jesse, I've been Truman.
And I've been Jesse.
And the journey continues.
Bye!